So that seems to be working fine. Now let's add another dimension to the game by adding in sound. Go to the Projects panel and then scroll down until you see Sounds. Right-click on that and import sounds. And remember, that is in the free bundle in the Sound FX folder. And Shift or Control click or Command click on Mac and click SFX5, UI1, and Upgrade 1. And open those. And then just click Import on the first dialog, which is telling you which files it's going to import. And then click OK on the second one, which just tells you whether it was successful or not. Now you'll notice that there are a bunch of files here. There's actually 3 files for each of the files that we picked. And that is to provide support on various different browsers. Not all browsers support all music formats. So you want to include all of them. Alright, while we're at it, import music. So right-click on Music and choose Import Music, and then go up one folder and then down into the Music folder and click both of these Matt Oglesby 1 files. Open them, import, and click OK, and now you should see 2 files here. Before we can use them, we need to add an audio object. So go back up in the Properties panel to Object Types, right-click, Insert a New Object, and then scroll down and choose Audio. And we're ready now to start adding them in. We'll put the music in first, go up to the very top to the On Start of Layout event, add an action on the audio object, and we're going to play and then choose the Matt Oglesby music. We want it to loop and give it the tag of music. This tag is what we'll use to refer to this particular piece of music at any point if we need to. And in fact, let's go ahead and try that out right now by adding an action on the audio object to set the volume for that music object to -10, which is supposed to reduce the volume by about half. Now let's add in the sound effects. So scroll down to the mouse click event, select it, and add a sub-event. And this sub-event will be, what we want to do is, remember when the card was turned face up, if you clicked on it again, we handled that case so that it wouldn't treat it as a match, but it would be good to provide an error feedback if the player tries to do it again. So if the card face up Boolean instance variable is set, now this sub event was placed at the bottom. Let's go and drag it back up to the top of the sub event list for the on click event. And we want to, if someone tries to click on a card that's already face up, we want to play the sound effect SFX5, not looping, and let's give that a tag of error. And let's copy that whole sub-event and paste it. And let's also handle the case where there is there are already 2 cards turned up. If the player tries to click on a 3rd card, we want to sound an error. So let's do the test that if, go back, and if the G-count cards picked is greater than or equal to 2, then we want to play that error sound. And we also want to provide some audio feedback when a match is found or when no match is found. So go down to the event where we do the comparison to see if the cards match, and add an action to play the sound effect upgrade 1, not looping, and tag it as match. And then also we want to add a sound effect when the cards don't match. So go down to this inverted event and add an action, again audio play, and this time play UI1, not looping, and tag it as no match. Alright, I think that's it. Let's go ahead and try it out. Our music is playing. I don't know if you can hear it, but it is playing. And if we turn over a card and then try to click on it again, an error sound is played. If we turn over a match, we hear a different sound. If we turn over 2 cards that don't match, we hear an ooh-ooh sound. And if we try to turn over 3 cards, I may have to be quick to do this, we hear the error sound. You notice that adding in the sounds makes the delays seem reasonable because the delays are about the right length for that sound. Alright, so we've completed the entire game. We've added in sounds and feedback for our player. And we've still got a little bit of time, so I'm going to show you how to implement the alternate version of the card game that we talked about in the first episode. Alright, let's go back to the layout and move over to the side where the left side where we have the card object. Double click it to open the animation editor, and we're going to create a new animation. So go to the animations window, right click and choose add animation, and let's call this flash card, and then select it, and we'll import the frames. If you downloaded the Memory Match tutorial resources pack before this 5th episode was posted, then you may not have this flashcard folder. So this is under Memory Match tutorial. You also don't have this tutorial folder which contains the partially completed projects for each of the episodes. Anyway, go into the card graphics folder, and then under flashcards, go into flashcards, and you'll see that for each card I've added a matching text card that describes what the image is. I did also change this heart image so that it was a little easier for children to be able to identify, for example. So you'll see that for every image, right next to it is a word describing that image. So again, the matches are side by side. So let's click on the first one, and then scroll down and shift click on the last one. Click open, and that'll import all of the card images. Then delete this first frame. We don't need that one because it's empty. And then there's one more thing we have to do, and that is we have to change the origin. So click on this middle button over on the right side, then right click on the origin item and quick assign to top left, and then right click again and apply that to the whole animation. Alright, that's all we need to do in the animation editor. So let's leave that. And now there's only one more thing we need to do to get this game working in the alternate version of the game working, and that is go to the event sheet and then locate where we set the card face frame animation. And so that's down under the mouse event, and it's where the count cards picked less than 2. Set animation to card face, and instead we're going to set it to flash cards. Now let's try running it. We forgot to do something important. So go back to Construct 2 and open the animation editor again, and then go click on Flash Card and change the speed of the animation to 0. And try running it. That's better. Now, since we still have our cards unshuffled, we know exactly where the matches are. So this is a great version of the game to use for educational applications. Now, one last thing before I go back to Construct, and let's set things back to our default, to our original setup, which was under globals we had our number of columns originally equal to 6. We had our number of rows originally equal to 4. We had our number of cards equal to 24. And let's go back and change the cards back to card face. Now you could provide a menu that would allow the player to choose the kind of game they want to play, and you could have multiple sets of cards that they could choose from. And then one last thing, which is very important, and that is to go up to where we turn the disabled shuffling, and let's re-enable it. Go back up and toggle it disabled, so now when we play the game, it should play just like the example on the Sierra Arcade. That wraps it up. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial series. I've enjoyed creating it for you, and I appreciate the positive comments I've been getting, and please leave more, especially if you have ideas for future tutorials you'd like to see. I'd like to hear from you. Thanks. Bye.